How's it going, everybody? And welcome to another episode of the Pursuing Greatness podcast. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson. This is the place where you can learn how to master your health, your wealth, and your love all in one place. So I hope you look forward to another great episode with another great guest. Before we get started, I do want to remind everybody that the best way to support the show is to simply subscribe, like, and share this episode with your friends. Also, if you want to get more involved with the show, check out our website at pursuinggreatnesspodcast.com. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you have your pen and paper ready to take some notes on some great wisdom coming your way. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side of the episode. And we are live. Today we have with us Astrid Ferguson. Astrid is a Dominican and Haitian certified life coach, author, and poet. She was born in the Dominican Republic and raised in New York, and her hope is to inspire women to quit playing small and embrace the transition of building the career and life of their dreams. Astrid, thank you very much for coming on the show today. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you over there?
I'm doing good. I'm in Seattle here, and we're getting our first bits of cloud cover, so we're happy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. To get us started, why don't you tell everybody, who you are, what you do, and how you got started down that path in the first place?
Okay. As you said, I am a certified life coach. I didn't start as a certified life coach. I made my career in corporate America. I worked mostly in the pharma industry. And then after going through a very tough delivery, postpartum depression and, almost losing my life.
Oh, wow.
I realized I wanted to do more. I wanted to finally leap out there and actually do something that I enjoyed. So I started with writing. I started putting my poetry out there. I created 2 anthologies, The Moat and The Serpent's Rattle. And then from there, I was like, okay, I feel like there's more that I could do. And that's how I went into life coaching. And I feel like I finally found something that I was put on this earth to do, so to speak. And that's, what I wanted to talk about. Like sometimes listening to your intuition and taking that leap of faith leads you down the path that maybe you've been searching for all your life, so to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. It does take that leap of faith. And I do want to get further into that. Before I just want to go back to your life story, because I love hearing, how people got where they are, because it really, it goes to show for the people listening and watching that life is not a straight line. It is a series of ups and downs and lefts and rights. And you got to kind of roll with it as it goes. So you actually got started in the pharmaceutical industry in corporate. I actually got started not in pharma, but in corporate as well. And so I know that life, and I know not exactly what you were going through, but I know, how it kind of goes. After doing that, it sounds like you had a kid and you experienced postpartum depression, which, I'm a man, so I can't associate with that, but I'm sure there are plenty of women out there who know what that experience is like. So after going through that, you realized you needed to do something else with your life, and so you decided to leap, make the jump into something that really lit you up and got you going, which was writing and poetry. And you did that for a while, and then you decided to do another leap and go into coaching, which is what you're doing today. So I love that story. I love that you've had these not crisis moments, but these moments of decisions where you kind of moved on to the next stage of life. So kind of take us back to the first leap. You were in corporate. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening who are right now in corporate considering making a leap into an entrepreneurial or artistic endeavor. So kind of tell us, what was the leap like for you going from corporate to poetry and writing?
It was difficult. First, I had to do, or I like to say, exercise my inner demons. I I am very shy, and I struggled with stage fright, like really bad. And when I would write poetry, that was more like a personal thing for me, because with me being Dominican, um, my parents, Dominican and Haitian, my parents, when they came here to the United States, I spoke Spanish. English was not my first language. So that's what I used to kind of teach myself English.
Okay.
And it was more of a personal thing. So no one even knew that I wrote poetry. So
Yeah.
here I go and I write this book and I'm all like, you know, I'm thinking I'm just going to put it out there and it's going to sell. And my husband was the one that said, you can't sell a book if you don't, perform. So I had to overcome my first demon of stage fright. So get on
Okay.
stages and do all of that. Then when I was up there, I realized that I'm not like a lot of different poets. I'm very soft spoken. I'm not like a slam poet, so to speak. But I have very thought provoking like writing. And again, with you listening to other people where they're like, listen to what people are telling you. A lot of people were asking me, have you considered life coaching? And I kind of just let it flow to me, so to speak, because at first I was like, how am I going to teach someone, or how am I going to be a coach for someone, helping them through life when I don't even have it together? So then after going through my certification, because I wanted to make sure that I had the proper tools, is where I was like, you know what, I am in the right place, because life coaching and career coaching is more of helping people devise their own plans as to where they want to go from here to the future. It has nothing to do with me. I don't have to tell you what you have to do. We come up with a plan together. So that's how that was. It was difficult transitioning in the sense that corporate is very much like, day to day, versus going into creativity where you don't really know. You're taking a risk constantly. So that was the major transition for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said I mean, you ran into stage fright, which was kind of the thing that you didn't expect. I'm sure as a writer, you expected to be able to just create this amazing content and then that be the end of it. But you were kind of going down that path, and you realized that there was a performance aspect of it because it is poetry. So you
Hmm.
kind of got to that point, and it sounds like was it your friends, your family that kind of came to you and said, "Hey, you should try out the life coaching thing"?
No, it was like other people that I was running into that liked my writing and asked me if it was something I'd ever consider, because they felt through my writing and even when I would perform that, maybe that's something I should consider. I'm a very thought provoking, or I love having those kinds of conversations. And I just decided to take a run with it.
Absolutely, you're
Test it out.
yeah. And the thing that kind of jumps out to me about your story so far is that you were willing to experiment, you were willing to test things with your own life. You didn't have all the answers, you didn't have all the the perfect plan ready, but you knew that there was something more and there was something that you were going towards, and so you were willing to step out of your comfort zone and try these different things. And it sounds like you did end up landing, on your feet in a place that really does feel like it should be what you're doing here on Earth today, which is life coaching.
Hmm.
So, kind of going towards the life coaching topic, um, you've gone through your own leaps in life, your own decision points. I'm sure some people listening, watching, they're considering, they're going to those crossroads, and they're at the point where they should be making a leap. So, if you could give people advice, how do you get yourself off of the cliff and just jumping into the unknown?
First, you have to accept that where you are no longer makes sense, no longer works for you. So that's the first thing, is saying, I don't know where I'm going. I just know that where I'm at is no longer serving me. So once you've accepted that, when you're ready to just jump, you need to, what I always say, you constantly have to tell yourself, you're not doing this to be affirmed by anyone else. You're actually doing this because it's for you. It's important for you. And that should be more than enough. It shouldn't be that you need others to agree or you, because others won't understand. Chances are you don't even understand. You're just going with it, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the worst that could happen?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I love, external validation is a nice thing. It's a nice thing to have when other people are like, "Hey, man, you're kicking ass. You're doing the right thing," but oftentimes it's not there, and that should not stop you. You should really be looking inside when you get to those transitions in life and figuring out what works for you. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that you said the main indicator is that your life isn't working. Something's not working, and that should be your kind of impetus to make the decision to move forward. You may not have a perfect plan at that specific moment, but you do need to just make the move if life
Mm-hmm.
isn't working as it is currently. Awesome. So, I love everything you've said so far. Um, I'm sure you've worked with some people, in your own coaching business. Kind of what are some, we've already talked about how to make the leap. What are some other common issues that people run into or need help with when they come to a life coach?
I want to say, I think the biggest aha moments for people is when they realize how much of their values and their life journey has been based on their parents or um, the people around them, the values that the people around them have, and they haven't really figured out what their true values are. Like how much of those values have been created out of fear versus what you really want. So, like, if you're a person that your core value is to have fun in life, your parents might have said to you, well, fun is frivolous, that doesn't amount to anything. So, you'll never actually start with what is fun for me versus what is the responsible thing to do. So I want to say that's probably the hardest part for clients is to realize how much of their values is based on someone else's values and to finally let go of that and start creating their own.
I love that piece of advice or that perspective because we're born into this world blank canvases, and shoot, I read a book a while ago. I think it was the For Mastery, or shoot, I can't remember, by a Mexican writer. Doesn't matter. It's not relevant. But the point is, we come in as blank slates, and we are kind of formed by the people around us. They give us their values, and once we get into our adulthood, we really do need to identify what it is that we ourselves value. And so it sounds like that the clients that come to you, the main issues they're having is they haven't really identified what they themselves value versus what other people have told them to value. So um, I love that piece of advice. Figure out what you value before listening to what other people value.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on a little bit, we do try to keep these to around 20 minutes, so I'm going to push us forward just a nudge. Um, going to pieces of advice. So you've been in many different places in your life. You've been a corporate. You've been in corporate, working in the pharmaceutical industry. You were an author, a poet, and now a life coach. So you've had all this experience. If you were to go back to the Astrid who, say, was just getting out of high school or college and give that person one piece of advice going forward, what would that piece of advice be?
Forget everything your mom and your dad ever taught you. Because what worked for them back then may not work for you now. So just, allow yourself the space to fail and change the way you view failure. Failure is not like a permanent place. It's just an opportunity to do something differently.
Absolutely. Allow yourself to fail and don't think of it as a permanent thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I know you also, you work with women a lot. So speaking, women to women, not to me, if you were to give another woman a piece of advice that's specifically relevant for females, what would that piece of advice be?
That it's okay to want more. It's okay to um, feel like you're dissatisfied with the way your life is. Like, if you don't want to be known as just mom or just wife to someone, like that's okay. That there's no shame in that. I think we have to release a lot of the shame that us as women take on. I don't know why, but for so many reasons, oh, I gave my child McDonald's today. We'll feel ashamed by that. And it's like, so what? The kid ate, you know? We have to release all that shame that we carry as women. Like, if we want more, go get more. If we want to change how we're viewed, then change it. Like, it's your life.
Perfect. I love it. Release the shame. Don't harbor it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you are a poet, which means you have to love reading. There's nobody that likes to write, but doesn't also like to read. So this next question is going to be an easy one for you. I always like to ask two book recommendations, one based on the subject that you're talking about, and then one just general. Since we're kind of into to the relationship aspect, or maybe spirituality, I can't remember, or I can't decide. So I guess one book on, let's say career. One book recommendation on career, business, and then one book recommendation just on general life wisdom.
Oh, on business. Well, I
Or
mean,
anything relevant to coaching, I suppose. I was trying to go down the coaching route, but
I would say, as far as I could probably sum it to one for both. Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo. It's a really good book for both business and life coaching, because I mean they kind of play hand in hand. You got to figure out what it is that you really want so that you know what direction you want to go in as far as business and even, personally. But if you had to say, as far as business, I would say Profit First. That's a really good book, because it's important for us to make that distinction. I know that we struggle a lot, especially in entrepreneurship and as creatives, to actually ask for what we're worth. And it's important to know, like, if you're not thinking of profit, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. So profit first.
I love it. I love it. So everything is figure outable
Mm-hmm.
and profit first. Great, great suggestions. So we are at the end here. If someone did want to get in contact with you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, you can go to my website, astridferguson.com. Everything is on there. If you want to shoot me an email, it's info@astridferguson.com. My social media, I'm mostly on Instagram. So Astrid, ASTRID _Ferg, FERG on Instagram. So yeah. So
Perfect.
come on over there.
So you can check out Astrid at her website, astridferguson.com. That's ASTRIDFERGUSON.com. Again, Astrid, thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciated everything you shared with us today. For everybody who came along on this journey with us, thank you guys for showing up. Again, the best way to support the show is just to subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you guys for sticking with us on another episode of the Pursuing Greatness podcast. I hope you got a lot of value out of that guest. Again, the best way to support the show is just to subscribe, like, and share with your friends and family. Also, check out pursuinggreatnesspodcast.com if you want to get more information about what we do and what we offer. I hope you guys have a great day and keep living in integrity with yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode coming shortly.